Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of CR Exposed. On today's episode we are looking at the Wight from the Dungeons & Dragons Monster Manual 2025 edition. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this and take a look at our medium undead. Yes, we're doing another undead like we did last week with the, what was it? Whatever it was, the Wraith, there we go, yes, the Wraith. The small or medium undead. This one is just a straight up medium undead, and we're going to go ahead and start plugging in our numbers. So we're going to start with the AC like we do in the top right corner here, 14 AC. We're going to go ahead and throw in 11 hit dice to get us to that total average number of 82 hit points. We are looking at a CR3 undead here, and we're going to go ahead and start plopping in the stats of 15 strength, 14 dex, 16 con, 10 intelligence, 13 wisdom, and 15 charisma. From there, we can pretty much skip past everything else here. We have resistance to necrotic and immunities to poison, but because there's only one of each, and we only have a couple conditions, and the conditions don't even matter in 5th edition here, we can move right past all of this. So from that, we're going to go ahead and jump down into the trait, which is sunlight sensitivity. The sunlight sensitivity does not matter, so we're going to go ahead and skip past that, and just get right into the action. So this is going to be a nice and quick video here. The actions are multi-attack. We can make 2 attacks using the necrotic sword or necrotic bow in any combination. It can replace one of these attacks with the use of life drain. Now, more than likely, if you've seen my previous videos of like how to fight as a, or how to play as a wight or whatever it was called, the shorts, basically you're going to want to do the life drain towards the end of the attacks to make sure you can turn someone into a zombie. I've almost accomplished this once as a GM. I almost got one of my players. They were being a little rash and put their character into extreme danger, but it worked out in their favor. So that's a little bit of story time there. So let's go ahead and start looking at our weapons. We have the necrotic sword, which is going to be doing +4 to hit, and our +4 is coming from strength or dexterity, so it doesn't really matter either way. It's both the same. And then from there, we're going to start with our necrotic sword. The necrotic sword is going to be dealing 6.5 because it's an odd number of dice, plus an additional 4.5 necrotic damage. And then from there, the bow is basically doing the same thing. So I don't have to worry about making a whole nother number for that. It's going to be the same thing. From there, we then take a look at the life drain. So the life drain is going to be a DC 13, and for a CR3 monster, that is exactly the DC we're expecting. Hopefully the numbers will work out to be appropriate for that, but I mean, alongside the +4 to hit, we don't really have to worry about it choosing besides between an attack bonus of 4 or a DC of 13. They're both on level ground, so this is perfectly fine here, and we'll just put in the numbers. Now, for these numbers, we're going to, on a failure, deal 6.5 points of necrotic damage, and the target hit point maximum decreases by the amount equal to the damage taken. So we're going to multiply that times 2. And if you saw last week's episode of the Wraith, we kind of looked at, okay, does the Wraith also get double damage for its touch attack that it does? And as we saw immediately, yes, it does. It is counted in as 2 points of, or twice the amount of damage here, because we're dealing that damage and then we're also reducing that damage that can't be taken back. So it's like a double hit here, oddly enough. So we're going to go ahead and set up 2 different multi-attacks here, where we're going to say we're either doing the necrotic sword and a necrotic bow, or necrotic bow twice, or a necrotic sword twice. Doesn't really matter. We're doing this times 2 for an even number of 22. And then we're going to do the bow or the sword. More than likely it's going to be the sword and a life drain. But we're going to add those in together, give ourselves a 22 and a 24. And we can just kind of average that out and take, 23 just for the sake of just for argument's sake. Like, who knows? We might do bounce back and forth, or we might do more one of the other. At this point, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to go ahead and say round down, and then we'll say this one, and that did not work as I was expecting. There we go. Okay, so let's just work this out a little bit more. Divide that by 2, round down. There we go. 23 average damage. So this is going to be what we're doing basically every round of combat. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that into my concentration area. Like I said last week, it's to save myself time of putting it into rounds 1, 2, and 3. Now, interestingly enough, we're supposed to be a CR3, and our Wight is only a CR2. So what's going on here? Well, there's a couple of different things that are going on here. One, we're not doing enough damage, and two, we don't have enough hit points. Now, of course, if our Wight is being hit with necrotic damage, we're going to reduce that, and if we're being hit with poison damage, we're going to also ignore poison damage. But most D&D players for 5th edition already know that pretty much everything is either resistant or immune to poison, so we're going to skip that entirely. And most people aren't going to be doing a lot of necrotic damage. It just isn't, as far as I've seen, necrotic damage isn't a huge damaging attack. So what we need to do here is increase both the damage and the hit points ever so slightly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and work out our dice here. So we're going to say the D8 for the sword or the bow. And that's going to be coming from either strength or dex. It doesn't really matter. We're going to update. We're not updating that. We're going to go ahead and update this information here. So we're going to take that. We're also going to get the 1d4. Likely the easiest answer here is going to be just increasing the necrotic damage. Oh, that's also a d8. Interesting. All right, and that's going to give us that bit of info. So bear with me while we work all this out. And then we're taking this damage here. Okay, so let's go ahead and just play with the necrotic damage. Let's say we want to increase our damage ever so slightly. And actually what I'm going to do first is increase our AC, or not our AC, but our hit dice. Because I want to get, since we need to move everything up 1, I want to get a DCR 2, which is our blue area, and I want an OCR 4 to give us a CR of 3, which is perfect because this gives us a more of an attacker style monster that's in there, or striker, to get in and do damage and not really worry about being hit, or not really in there to be hit, I should say. So let's go ahead and adjust our hit dice to 12, which brings us up to a CR or DCR 2, and then we're going to go ahead and play with the necrotic damage here on our sword and our bow, primarily leaving life drain alone. So since we have a d8, let's go ahead and say a d10 of necrotic damage is added on. Well, that's doing nothing, which I kind of expected. So let's go to 2d6 worth of necrotic damage. Still nothing again. So we'll go to 2d8. Okay, so there we go. Now we've moved up to the area of where we're actually properly getting a CR3 Wight here. We're going to go ahead and adjust our necrotic damage on the sword and bow, because likely you're going to be doing that more. And that will give us the 2d8 there, which bumps our main attack up ever so slightly from 11 to 15, which then increases all of our multi-attacks, leaving the life drain alone, which is perfectly fine. And then yeah, we increase 1 hit dice. So we go from 82 to 90. So we give our monster on average 8 more extra hit points. I don't know who actually rolls their hit points. I used to, but I always rolled low, so I basically just take the average. And yeah, we have ourselves a proper CR3 monster. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like what I'm doing here and you'd like to get this tool for yourself, look at the link in the description below where you can go to my Ko-fi page where you can get the tool for free, completely for free, or you can donate if you feel so obliged to. You can also support the channel in a variety of different ways, where you can also download and check out some of the subclasses I have, like the Ronin subclass, or you can get a bunch of monsters. There's also actual classes that I'm working on, like the Performer class, the Gunslinger class, or the Chemist class, and some others that are in the works. You can also purchase some of the scripts and monsters that I've created for D&D 5th edition or Tales of the Valiant here. You can also become a Ko-fi supporter, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to get early access to videos and behind the scenes content that I'm doing for the channel. Or you can also join me here on YouTube and become a member here as well for, again, as little as much as $1 a month, where you can get early access to videos that I make as soon as they're posted. Or you can also comment, like, share, subscribe to the hundreds of other videos that I have here on my channel. Any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.